Hey guys, welcome back to Alternative Inverts. So, I hope you've enjoyed the last few videos. We've loved making them. Today, we are going to be taking a look at our Cyriopagopus lividus female. Now, this is a female that we've paired roughly around 6 months ago. I think maybe a little bit less, maybe about 5 months, 5.5 months ago. I have got the details on my calendar, but yeah, I haven't checked. She is looking huge. I spotted her out last night. I come in my room at around probably about 1 o'clock, 1 AM, 2 AM every night before I go to bed. And I spotted her out with my torch. She is looking massive, like absolutely huge. Yet she hasn't dropped her egg sac yet. So what I'm going to be doing today is trying to rehouse her into a smaller container just to trigger her to drop an egg sac. Well, an attempt to trigger her to drop an egg sac. It's worked with some of our other spiders before, and if I put her in a smaller tub, it's easy to just move her around different shelves to try and find that sweet spot for her temperatures to get her to lay the egg sac. Now, she's looking massive, so if she's not going to lay an egg sac, I want her to molt. I want her to molt out, and I want her to be back at a healthy size. At the moment, she is huge. You will see when I get her out. I would 100% say she is gravid, and I want to do it as soon as. So, as you will have seen, we'll have been successful with our Heteroscoda maculata egg sac. And as you've seen on the previous video, members will have an update already. If you are a member of our channel, I will always provide you with sneaky little updates before everybody else. Those eggs were at just the egg stage. They weren't eggs with legs. I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to develop them, whether they were going to go bad because I poured the egg sac too early. Incubated those eggs and showed you how to set them up inside an incubator, what temperature to set them at, etc. If you haven't seen the video, there will be a tag up here somewhere. Go and have a look and you can see us pull the egg sac. But I want to give you a quick update before we get this girl rehoused. So, these eggs, this is the Heteroscoda maculata egg sac that I pulled. These eggs have been incubated now for 4 days. Now, I came in last night, rotated the egg sac, and then took the eggs out of the egg sac and set them up in this little container, which I'll show you. So the container is different to how I initially had them set up. I found that the tissue was getting damp where the egg sac was sitting. I didn't want the eggs to get mouldy, so I took them out of the egg sac and I set them up slightly differently. Now, overnight, I've come in this morning and checked on them, and we've had a development. So let's take a look. So overnight, we've now noticed that the eggs have started developing into eggs with legs. Look at some of those little beauties down here. I'm just waiting on the rest of the eggs to develop now. But there we go, it is a successful breeding, and it's our first successful breeding of the year. We're nearly, well, what's the date? It's the 19th of January. We've had our first egg sac and it's successful, so it's a great start to the year. Hopefully this C. lividus will be next, but look at how beautiful those little things are, having a little wiggle around. Yes, I know. How awesome is that? I'm absolutely stoked that I managed to get them from the egg stage. I didn't want to lose them because I pulled them too early, but it just shows it can be done. I think if you've got an incubator, it makes life a lot easier because you can keep it at that temperature and make sure the temperatures are regulated correctly. For the C. lividus, this is currently what I've got my female in. So it is a fossorial enclosure that I have built myself, and again I will pop a tag up in one of the top corners to the video where you can see how to make these enclosures yourself if that is something that you want to do. Now, it's going to be quite difficult to get this female out of here, being a fossorial enclosure. She is obviously right at the bottom, but I'm going to try and use a long pair of tongs, poke through down into the substrate rather than having to empty it all out. Poke down into the substrate and trying to get her to come up of her burrow, and I'll get her in a catch cup at the top. If that fails, we're going to have to empty it out completely and get the female in a catch cup. So bear with me. And we'll just work her up by poking through the burrow. I've got her slightly up the burrow now. And then I've left the tongs in there so she can't go back down, and then I'll use another set of tongs to carry on steadily getting her out of the burrow. I don't want to destroy it too much. After she's dropped an egg sac, I can then plonk her straight back in, you see. We'll block that off, and now she can't go back down. So there she is. Look at the size of her. She is huge. She ain't gravid. I don't know what is. And then we can remove these, which I use to block off her burrow. That'll always just stop them from being able to retreat down. And at the same time, I haven't had to destroy her house. Ta-da! Let's get you a look at her.
Keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. But you'd rather stay high, I know you. Can we stay high, babe?
Here she is. Look at her in all her glory. Still beautiful, but look at the size of that abdomen. That is one huge abdomen. It looks like she's about to pop. It's been 5.5 months since I paired her.
Now all of my calls go to voicemail. I block you so I don't raise hell. Should've talked through it in detail. Our separate ways ain't gon' end well. No. But when we get back,
of course, this is the Cyriopagopus lividus, the eggsac lividum, commonly known as the Cobalt Blue tarantula.
I could keep that same energy. When you go low, I go low too. But you'd rather stay high, I know you. Can we stay high, babe? I'd rather be on that wave. Tryna control our emotions. If we on the right side of passion, we could share love in the ocean. But if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead. We could go
cool, collected, but you pushing on my nerves. And knowing your attention, I'm under pressure. Okay, I'm admitting that a couple things I said got acidic in the tone. In the presence, I get careless. Long as you know I come with imperfections. When you look at me, you see the soul through my flesh. You something special. No, you looking bomb the way you dress.
Just make sure she's got no mites on her or anything. On a triglyceride.
You worthy of a million more the storms that we weather. We fight, retreating, then fuck, but you trying to kill the cycle. When nobody's stressing that body like me, I know the way you like it. I treat you like a queen.
All around the buffalo area.
Feel like you setting fire to my desire for the pleasure. You a gem, got me blameless, make amends. No, you can't.
She hasn't. She's all good. No marks on her at all. It's always good to check, obviously, due to circumstances where you've seen the LBT video. It is always good to check it every time you get opportunity, just to make sure. But look at the size of the ass. She has got a serious badonkadonk going on. Simply all you need to do, soak the one side. I will tape up some of the vents on the top of the lid, some of these to keep the humidity higher. Here we go, one last look at her. The big beauty. She is. So as I said, cover up some of the vents. Now again, this isn't me saying this is exactly what you have to do for it to work. This is me saying this is what I'll try. I always try a few different things. Once I'm successful with that one species, I'll note everything down and I know for next time when I breed this species what I did, and I'll do exactly the same. Obviously I want it to be successful, but if it doesn't, then oh well, better luck next time. This is just a tip that I've had from somebody in the past. I've done it with some of my spiders that I've bred and it's worked. Less ventilation, higher humidity, and that's it. So she has still got 2 rows of holes here, and she's got holes all around the tub. But yeah, so she's now going to go on the bottom shelf for around a week, 2 weeks, which will be at 23 degrees. We'll see how she's getting on. I'll monitor her, and then I will boost the temperatures probably up to around 26, 27 degrees maybe. I will do a little bit more research, see if I can find some more breeding reports. But so far with her it's just been trial and error, see what happens, see how it goes. She's either going to molt out soon or she's going to drop an egg sac. With the size of her like that, something's going to happen soon. As you saw when I was moving her, she was quite chilled out, she was quite slow, she wasn't really speedy, she wasn't defensive, she didn't kick, threat postures. Obviously that's not normal really for this species. So it's going to be one or the other. I'm going to get a molt or I'm going to get an egg sac. So we'll see how it goes. She's going to go down there now where I keep my males. But yeah, sorry there wasn't too much action in this one, but again, this is me helping you guys or showing you guys what I'm doing with my breeding. I know there are people out there who are interested in this kind of stuff. I get lots of messages asking how I managed to breed one of the species that I've bred, or what I would do in their situation. Again, I don't claim to know it all, because I don't. This is me trialing and erroring. You know, I've had egg sacs that I've lost, I've had egg sacs that have been eaten by the females, but at the same time we've had successful egg sacs, so I'm just sharing what I'm doing with you guys. And I think it's important to include all of these little bits, because a lot of people, especially on breeding reports, they'll always say, you know, what date they paired, what day they found a sac, what day they pulled the sac, how many eggs with legs they had, or how many slings they had, N1s, N2s, eggs, whatever. And that's pretty much it. They don't give you much information in regards to the conditioning, what people try to condition them, whether they soak their enclosure, whether they lower the temperatures, whether they raise the temperatures, how long for. And that's a massive part of the conditioning for the female tarantulas in order to have a successful breeding. A lot of people will pair a female. That's great, it's quite easy to pair a female up. Obviously you're still going to get some that are hard, but it is quite easy to pair a female up, but getting them to drop an egg sac and for it to be viable, that's the harder part. It's as a collective. There's no point pairing a tarantula if you're not going to try and get a successful egg sac out of it at the end. So just a bit of a tip, take it as you will. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Drop any questions or comments down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification if you want to be notified when our next videos are live. And I will catch you on the next one, guys. Stay safe and look after yourselves. Peace out.